Hello, folks, and welcome to this week's edition of the Satori Traders Precious Metals News. On the cover this week, we have Newfound Gold Corporation, and this is a company we've looked at before. What I'd like to highlight today is the fact that Newfound Gold has applied for a listing on the New York Stock Exchange, and they're expecting that to happen in the first half of 2021, which means in the next 3 months or so. Now, my expectation for this company is that they will list on the NYSE. They're going to quickly jump over the $5 a share level. And at that point, institutional investors can come in. And that's exactly what I expect to see, is that basically $5 will become a foundation or a base level, and then Newfound Gold will head higher from there. So don't want to lose track of the fact that this company will be listed on the NYSE in 2021. In my opinion, the reason they are seeking that listing is because they know they have a significant mineral deposit, and they want to have the broadest availability to investors, and that means a listing on one of the U.S. major indexes. So some other things about this company, I'll share some of my notes with you. So Dr. Quentin Henney is a director with this company. Dr. Henney has 25 years of experience as an economic geologist. He's got a long track record of finding precious metals, mineralization in the ground. And so, if you want to find gold in the ground, that's the guy to call. The company is exceedingly tightly held. More than 70% of the shares are held by insiders and major investors. And so you can look at, this is Novo, the mining company that just started production this year, 11%. Eric Sprott, billionaire, 18%. And actually, I think he just bought another $25 million worth of shares in the company. So he probably owns more than that now. Rob McEwen, 7%. etc. So we've got some major investors interested in this project. These are a couple of interviews. Here's Quentin talking about every hole they've drilled has visible mineralization. I mean, this is truly a unique deposit. Based on drill results, they expanded the original drill program from 100,000 meters to 200,000 meters. And again, that's another indication that this company believes that they are onto a serious mineral deposit. That's why they're committing to a drill program at this level. Here's the announcement to list on the New York Stock Exchange. Another interview with Dr. Henney. He's saying there's a big gold system here, more high-grade results. All of the drill results that they're getting are high-grade. It's almost, I don't want to say that it's boring. How could you ever get bored with high-grade drill results? But that's consistently what they're finding. 7 ounces of gold per ton. I mean, that's a crazy rich gold mineralization. So let's see. Oh, and one of the highlights I didn't point out up here, this is shallow mineralization. So we're finding high-grade mineralization at a shallow level. I think it's like 75 meters where they're finding the high grade, which means that it's potential open pit. And if you can open pit mine a mineral deposit, you can quickly and inexpensively get it into production. And Newfoundland seems to be amenable to mining, and so an open pit mine is a real possibility here. A quick move into production. And so here we are. This is the 1st of March. The company is announcing that they have expanded from 5 to 8 drills. And again, this is just another indication the company is serious. This is an aggressive growth company. They believe that they are onto a serious mineral deposit, and the actions that they are taking support that premise. And so here again, these are the latest drill results, and so 5 more high-grade drill results. So anyway, that's Newfound Gold. Let's talk a little bit about the technical action or the price action. It looks to me like we've got a support. Well, it was clearly it was resistance. We can see here the 350 level acted as resistance for some time. And now it appears that we've had a breakout, and now we're coming back for a retest of that level as support. And so we'll see. On Thursday, we got a test of the bottom of that channel, assuming that channel holds, and then a test on Friday of the potential support level. So anyway, the technical action looks good. This accumulation distribution, investors are bored. I mean, we're in today's world, everybody wants everything now. I want to be a gazillionaire and I want it to happen today. Unfortunately, that's not the way the world works. But anyway, investors continue to think that it does. So this is just, in my mind, that's investors getting bored with this company and probably certainly losing sight of my vision for this company, as I just shared. They're going to get a New York Stock Exchange listing. They're going to cross the $5 threshold. Institutional buyers are going to come in, and we will never see this stock at this price again. But let me acknowledge that's my bullish bias speaking. And so as investors and traders, we always need to be aware of our biases and keep them in the forefront of our minds. So anyway, enough of me babbling about Newfound Gold. I'm quite pleased with the action in the precious metals this week. And I've interacted with several people, and they're, why is gold weak and everything? Well, let's talk about relative strength. So this might not look very exciting, but let's go look at what the dollar did this week. Gee. And so this is the weekly time frame in the US dollar. With the US dollar doing that, to have gold do nothing more than shuffle sideways, in my mind, is amazing. That's incredible strength that gold is able to hold at that level while the US dollar is doing that. So, and in my opinion, this action is indicative of the level of fear currently on investors' minds. Gold, the precious metals, in my opinion, largely driven by fear, whether it's the fear of financial loss or the fear of missing out on financial gain. And so I suspect in this case, it's a fear of financial loss. People don't understand what's going on in the markets, and they're scared. And that's why gold remains strong relative to this action in the dollar. So that's gold. I'm good with that action. Silver, as we noticed last week, we had this energy coil, and sure enough, we did get an impulsive move out of that coil. Unfortunately, it was to the downside. But then on Thursday, we got this really bullish candle. That's a doji candle, obviously. And then sandwiched on either side of 2 more dojis. And so anyway, I'm pleased with that action. And then let's also notice that we've finally gotten a test of the 200-day moving average in silver now. And so in my mind, that's a good thing. It's kind of let's check the boxes for bottoming action, and that's one more box checked. It's like, yeah, okay, silver tested the 200-day moving average and appeared to have buying coming in at that level. So silver looks okay. I wanted to look at volume action again, and so this is SLV. Last week when we looked at this, we had this is the Andrews pitchfork, and so we can see that price dropped out of that fork, or failed out of that fork. And so the next thing we do, we move or transition from our standard Andrews pitchfork. I typically go to the modified shift next. and see what that looks like. And so what we find here is that the mod shift fork looks pretty good, basically describing a sideways shuffle. And so that's what we're seeing here is price shuffling sideways. Looks like it's trying to find support at that level. Not very exciting volume. Would sure like to see some more volume come in here on SLV. Mining stocks, they looking pretty good. I was pleased to see this looks like bottoming action on Thursday, followed by a nice bullish candle on Friday. And so that action in the mining stocks looks good. And again, I just reiterate, we got this action in light of strength in the US dollar. And so anyway, I'm quite pleased with the action in the precious metals last week. It doesn't appear to be weak to me at all. And so here again, this is SIL and looks like potential bottoming and finding support at a obvious support level or potential support level. So again, there's the energy coil, not as pronounced as it is in was in silver, but again, energy coil prices gathering energy for what is typically or not uncommon that you get an impulsive move out of an energy coil. And sure enough, that's a very impulsive move down to test this support level. So let's keep rolling. Here's the US dollar in the weekly time frame. And so we can see that we came up, what was our high? 92, where'd it go? 9294, so 92.94. Not quite 93, but clearly getting pulled up into that level. So, and no indication that this trend is over. So I'm expecting more strength in the US dollar. Here we are in the daily time frame on the dollar and similar picture. We can see we're getting pulled up into 93, ran into resistance at the upper median line extension of this shift pitchfork. And so resistance and pulled back a little bit on Thursday, and then Friday again pushing against that resistance. That's 93 at that level. That's 93. And so there's the US dollar up. Primary trend remains up based on MACD. MACD's in bull mode, both indicators above the zero level. So I'm expecting more strength in the US dollar. Interest rates, a little bit of a breather last week based on the weekly time frame. But let me point out here, we pushed up through the 168 level. I was expecting that we might see a little bit of resistance there. We pushed through it, and it looks like now we're pulling back and testing that level for support. So you can see those three weeks right there, this level acted as resistance. Now, what it appears to my eye, we're now testing that level as support. Resistance becomes support in an uptrend. And in my opinion, this is a strong uptrend. There's nothing in this chart to indicate that this trend is ending. I mean, you could point at MACD perhaps rolling over, histograms got soft last week. I'd say that's just a breather, and a well-deserved breather. I mean, this is a tremendous move. Price deserves a little bit of a rest before it pushes on higher. I suspect we're going to see a pretty quick push into 2%. Some of the stuff that I'm reading, people are talking about 215 as potentially the level where yield curve control will be implemented. So here in the daily time frame, we can see that with jawboning and some good auctions last week, rates pulled back, and then on Friday we got another gap higher. This just super high energy in the debt instrument markets right now. So, and this looks like we're headed for another test of 175. Let's keep rolling. Wanted to look to see on the rest of the yield curve what was going on. And so here we have, this is yield on the 30-year bond. And last week it bumped into 2.5% and is pulling back. But here again, nothing to indicate that that trend's not going to continue. Now we're into the equities, and so on Friday, we got a nice, this actually Thursday and Friday, the combination of those two, very nice action in SPX. Here we got a pullback where we've tested the bottom of this channel and the 50-day moving average. And we've got buyers that came in, and then Friday we got this big, strong, bullish candle. So nice action in SPX. Dow also looking nice. So we had this, we were watching this strong breakout, and then last week we talked about pulling back here for a retest. And so retest here at the slanted line, that test failed. So we can see here, those two candles, that's a failure of that breakout level. So we got to pull back on Thursday down to the 20-day moving average, and then Friday, a re-breakout or a new breakout back above the channel. And so very bullish candle. Looks like the Dow wants to push higher. So good action in the equities last week. The Nasdaq, I'm still undecided about what to expect in the Nasdaq. I'd really like to see it come down here and test some support, at least the median line of this fork, if not this horizontal support resistance zone. So I'd be hesitant to go long in the Nasdaq, even with the SPX and Dow looking bullish. So Brent, same story. I mean, we got to pull back to the 50-day moving average, and then Thursday, Friday, strong buying came in. Of course, we've got turmoil this week with the Ever Given stuck in the Suez Canal. My understanding is about 2 million barrels per day of oil products that flow through the Suez Canal. So interesting dynamic in the petroleum or energy markets this week. So I've got a few charts open. I'm not going to spend much time on them. I'm just going to run through them real quick. So here's Altamira Gold. Looks like it might be trying to find support at the 24-cent level, bottom of this channel. Accumulation distribution looks good. Probably wait for some more bottoming action along this channel and support level. See what this stock is going to do. Perhaps wait for some new buying to come in. NV Gold potentially pulling back to test support along the top of this channel. A confluence of the moving averages, so this price action's a little bit confused in there, but not looking too bad. This is Novo. Novo, of course, just poured their first gold bar last month, and so they're looking fine, bumping along here. Got a test of the 50-day moving average. And so again, investors still not picking up on Novo. Let's see, Alexco. So this is a U.S. listed. If you're only interested in U.S. listed mining stocks, this is a silver miner. This might be one to look at. And so kind of bumping along support here. ASM, Avino, same thing. This is a U.S. listed silver miner. Support, 200-day moving average, looking okay. Lion One, we've looked at this a couple of times recently, potentially finished its pullback and a test. I believe that this action, this was a breakout above this Andrews pitchfork, and now we've had the retest. So this is a pullback and a retest of that level. And now on Friday, we got a pop higher. And so looking good there. Folks, that is really all I've got for you this week. Have a fantastic week.